Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Fiesel, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, from 1 to 3 p.m. Central. So I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. If you have any suggestions for shows, send an email, donna@donnasedge.com. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications, and Abundance Television found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. I have Marandah Henry with me right now. She's a good friend of mine. And so she is with Kitties in the City Rescue. So what is Kitties in the City Rescue?
Hi, Donna. It's good to see you. I've been independently rescuing cats and kittens in Marshall County and surrounding areas for a very long time. I started out with my own, and then I started finding these little, stray cats here and there at the grocery store or Dollar. I don't know how they come into my path, but I would find them and rehabilitate them and find them really good homes. Of course, I'd get them to the vet, get them taken care of. And from there, it's just people started, reaching. They would tag me on Facebook. They would be like, "Oh, here's the cat. Well, you need to get a hold of Marandah Henry." And it started, small, and then it's just evolved to what it is now. And we are actually a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and I'm really proud of it. We're foster based, so we depend on our fosters to rescue, and it's been a wonderful journey, and we're looking forward to growing.
Yeah, well, I'm excited because my cat, my Greenlee is a rescue, and so Greenlee is a huge part of our family right now. A friend of mine passed away, and so it's my way of remembering Jimmy Rogers, who owned the Greenleaf Grill. So anyway,
and that's wonderful. That's so great that you have him, and that he had such a great home to go to, because a lot of times that's not how it ends for these cats. That's why, one of the things on our application is, do you have plans? If something happens to you, do you have a family member, a friend, or a neighbor, anyone in your life that would step up and take, your pets?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a huge question, has to be asked. Sometimes life just happens. You get transferred with a job, and it could be where you're moving to does not accept pets, and just so many things can happen.
That's right. That's exactly right. So yeah, that is one thing that we do ask on one of our applications, but for the most part, we, like right now, one of our recent rescues, he was attacked by an eagle here in Gunnersville, and how this cat had the sheer will to live is beyond me, because his odds are not that good to walk away from an eagle, but his head was split open pretty bad, and he had to have even the vet, they were like, "Look, we knew that it was bad, but it's even worse than we thought." So he had to undergo some surgeries and things. He's all stitched up, but he'll get his stitches out in 2 days, and he is just a sweet kitty. And so that'll be a story for someone to tell whoever adopts him.
Yeah, and everybody's looking for a story anyway. But let's talk about rescues and why it's so important. I'm gonna say it breaks my heart to see a little kitten, or a bunch of, maybe where somebody just dumped out a bunch of kittens. Why do people do that?
I don't know, and it just keeps happening. And that's, going back to spay and neuter, because, I see these same posts from the same people every 6 months. They have a litter of free cats and kittens just to give. And actually, a lady commented today or yesterday on one of I made a poem, and she left a comment saying that she lived next door to people that were using those free cats and kittens as dog bait. And I tell people, that this is very real. That really does happen. And you gotta spay and neuter for one, but you don't want to live with the thought of your little kitten being in the hands of these people. But spay and neuter it just goes back to it. And then anyone that dumps cats and kittens, I mean, shame on them, because there is so many options out there, not to mention low cost spay and neuter. And so a lot of people, I think that they feel like it costs so much money, and so they can't afford it, because, times are hard right now. But there is options. North Alabama Spay and Neuter is who we partner with to do our TNRs. And they have a program for low income homes. So if you
Mhm.
make less than 30,000 a year, you can get a spay or a neuter for $20 a cat, and that is with your vaccine. So you
Uh-huh.
cannot beat it. There's, and if you live in Madison County, it's only $5.
Wow.
Yeah,
So help is
yeah.
out there. We just have to be aware of it. But now, what do you do? I mean, you have to do this. You have to do this. And I'll use my dog for an example. So I have a friend whose dog had some puppies, and they were raising them and selling them, and but they decided not to do it anymore. So the woman hadn't had the dog fixed, and this dog is like a part of our life, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, he has a mixed breed, and so is our cat. But how do people I mean, they know, they say, well, I can't afford to get my animals spayed or neutered, but then the cat keeps having, or the dog keeps having kittens and puppies all the time. That's expensive. You got to pay for that
Yeah.
food to feed them.
Right, you're spending more on the food than you would as if you just went on ahead and had your animal fixed. And then you want to talk about the health problems by not spaying and neutering. I mean, for males and females, but especially for females, because they spend their life either in heat or pregnant.
Uh,
Most females, especially here in the South, have 2 litters a year. Now,
Whoa, I didn't know
any
it was that.
female knows, like, give me a break.
Yeah.
I mean, that poor kitty. And then she's having so many at a time, and it develops these cancers. And so, unspayed female is a 7 times higher risk of cancers. Not just one, there's 3 other cancers than a spayed female. So you want to do it for your cat. She feels so
Mhm.
much better. For the males, cancer is not really the biggest risk. With males, it's going to be fighting. And that's how they spread leukemia, feline AIDS, and other diseases and things,
Mhm.
not to mention their injuries. So when you neuter them, they also stop traveling to go find a female, and they travel up to 2 miles to do that.
Mhm.
Um, and in those 2 miles, that's when they can come across predators like coyotes,
Mhm.
foxes, and dogs. So by,
Mhm.
spaying and neutering your male, even if it's an indoor cat, you're doing him a great, great favor, and he feels so much better.
Mhm. Yeah, and let's talk about this for a minute. Okay, so you talk about, your dog is out there and, they're looking for, the romance there, so to speak. But some people, especially out in the country, there's some farmers that'll shoot your animal. I
That's
mean,
exactly
man,
right.
I can't believe this, but there are people who will do that.
Yes, yes. My neighbor, her cat was going into, before she moved here. She lived somewhere else, and her cat would go into her neighbor's little shed, and he she would steal their gloves. I mean, totally harmless. And she goes to him, and she's like, "I am so sorry. Here's like 5 pair of your gloves. My cat's just a thief." And
Uh-huh.
they didn't like it. I mean, they didn't take her apology or anything. And the next thing you know, they shot her cat.
Oh
Her
no.
cat comes home and the eyeball is just hanging out. And she gets up to the vet. Of course, they wasn't open yet. This was in the middle of the night.
Mhm.
And of course, the cat's saved now, and Perry has a great life, but she just has one eye
Mhm.
because her cat got out and she was on someone else's property, and they just felt like they had the right to shoot her. So, yeah, no, you're exactly right. Keeping your pets in your perimeter is very important. It's for their safety because you don't know,
Mhm.
what people are capable of.
Mhm. That's true. Let's talk a little bit about feeding your animals, because I know Greenlee would eat 24/7. He
Yeah.
loves food. But let's talk about that for a few minutes, because obesity can be a killer for a cat as well.
It
It really
can.
hurts
It
the
can.
heart, whatever. So, what is the safety measure there when it comes to feeding our animals?
Well, cats are very food motivated, which really works to our benefit when we are, trying to train a cat or to break a cat from, being unsocial to social. So we
Mhm.
use treats and we use it as a tool to
Mhm.
help us. But you're right, you've got to have a cutoff point. And,
Mhm.
I'm a big, big wet food fan. I want to feed my cats wet food as much as I can because it's not near as high in calories. And that's the closest thing besides a raw cat diet as you're going to get to, their natural what they're made to eat. They're not meant to eat dry food. They're just not. It's not, their bodies aren't meant for that.
Mm-hmm.
But like if they were to eat like a mouse or something, 90% of that's going to be water. So that's a lot of fluid intake. So that helps their kidneys and things. And that's what I want to stick to. Now you have, my colonies that I feed. So that's not for every cat. I do give them cans, but I also leave them dry, especially in the wintertime, because the outdoor cats need the extra calories to, keep them warm and stuff through the winter.
Mm-hmm.
As far as overfeeding, I'm a little guilty of it myself because I have this one, it took me 7 months to touch her. And in that, I used food just a little too much. And now she's really finicky. She wants either tuna or Temptations. And I don't need to be giving her Temptations. I know. Shame on me. Don't do that. I do. I mean, that's what she loves. And I do limit it because, like you said, it can very well get out of hand quick.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you've got to watch that. Because my cats would eat 24/7.
I know Bradley will. Absolutely. So we're talking about diet and foods, but now you've really cued in on, so is dry dog food has more calories than, say, wet cat food?
Yes. So the dry is definitely way higher in calories, and it sticks to them. It will put weight on them so fast, and then it's really hard to take off. But also it's hard on their kidneys. And, I have a couple of really good, things to reflect on. Like one, I rescued a cat and I thought he'd been hit in the shoulder or the arm or maybe attacked. He lived in a parking lot. So I thought really he'd been hit. And he started limping. He wasn't using his little arm. And I'd already trapped him and had him fixed. And he's limping after I did all that. So now I've got to trap him again. And he was hard to catch. But anyway, I got him to the vet and they x-rayed him, and his bones at the joints, at all of his joints, were translucent on x-ray, which is not normal. And my vet looked at me and she's like, this cat has been eating very poorly. He's not getting any nutrition. So it's all to that cheap, dry cat food, very cheap and very dry. Because most of it is corn, ground yellow corn. You know how we as humans process corn? Cats have an even more delicate digestive system. So they're not meant to process that much corn. I mean, to give them a little corn, it's not that bad. But when you're giving them a bag of corn, because that's all it is and that's all they eat, it's very bad on them. And then I had one, my senior cat that I rescued, his kidneys were gone when I rescued him. And, I had to put him on a strict wet food diet. And I did get a few more months out of his life, just by swapping his diet over. And the same thing with Trip. His bones, he went from totally limping. He would never put that arm down to now he can run wide open. And all I did was change his food.
That absolutely great news. That's great to hear. We've got to go into a commercial break. Can you believe half the show's over?
No.
We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Y'all hang in there.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to lamonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community, whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need. Toys at Christmas or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with the staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender. Jeff McCurdy of the McCurdy Law Firm has been a public service of this area for over 10 years. McCurdy, a member of the Henniger City Council, serves as prosecutor for the town of Sylvania and was named public defender for the city of Rainsville. The McCurdy Law Firm is located at 17326 Alabama Highway 75 in Henniger to better represent his Jackson and DeKalb County clients. If you need to be represented by a true public servant with proven success, call Jeff at 256-996-8701 or send a private email to mccurdylawfirm@gmail.com. No representation is made that the legal services performed is greater than the legal services performed by other lawyers.
My Towels solved the problem that we've all had with towels. You go into the stores and they feel lotiony and soft, but then you get them home and they wind dry you. That's why I made My Towels. They actually work, they're soft, and they absorb. And now I'm excited to announce 2 brand new lines of My Towels. What makes them the best towels ever is they're now made with 100% long staple Shapir cotton. This is a combed ring spun cotton that makes My Towels even softer and more absorbent than ever. And now you get a 6-piece set for an amazing introductory sale price as low as $29.98. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get My Towels for only $29.98. Or you can get my designer premium line for just $20 more. Either way, you save 50% now on all My Towels. They actually work. What a concept. This offer won't last long, so please order now.
mypillow.com.
Okay, we're back. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge Talk Show. Thank you so much for watching the show, Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 p.m. You are awesome, and you're such a wonderful, wonderful person. And thank you so much, by the way, for the emails and the text you're sending. Oh, and if you have ideas for a show, would like me to do a little research, I'll be glad to do that for you. You can send an email to donna@donnasedge.com, donna@donnasedge.com. I have Marandah Henry with me right now. She's with Kitties in the City Rescue, and so we're talking about, food, because you want to feed your little fur babies and we're doing harm sometimes instead of good. But let's talk about something else. This is the time of the year where somebody's going to get a kitten and they're going to put a great old big red bow around it. And they want to give it away for a Christmas present. But how do you know the person even likes cats?
That's right. That's right. I see that, and I get messages. Oh, I want to get a cat or a kitten for my kid or for my husband for Christmas. And my response is I can't do it, because in my heart, I don't feel like cats and kittens are Christmas presents. I feel like they are a 15, 20-year commitment. And you're right. The person that you're giving it to, is, if it's a surprise, do they want to be committed for 15 to 20 years? And I say that because with experience, there's always this influx of, people wanting to surrender their animals a few months after Christmas because they're tired of it. And everyone that wants a kitten, well, the kitten is going to grow up. It's going to be a full-size cat in no
It's not going
time.
to always be a kitten, is it?
That's right. That's right. And we see that, they wanted this cat, they loved it, and they played with it too, and then they wanted to get something new. So now the older cat's kind of getting the boot. We see that a lot. And so when there's nothing wrong with adding a family member like a cat or a kitten or a dog or a puppy to your family at Christmas, if you're committed to it, if that's your commitment. But they have feelings, and they get attached to you. And so when you get tired of it and you want to surrender it to a rescue or to a shelter, that poor baby is going to go through all these emotions, and it's not understanding that, I was in a home last night with my family, and now I'm in this strange trap cage, so we see that. And yeah, we want everyone to know cats and kittens are not Christmas presents. They're a life, and they are a commitment.
Well, what are you doing to an animal when you just decide you don't want it anymore, which to me is heartless, but you decide you don't want them anymore, and you just take them off and dump them off on some road somewhere? What happens to that animal?
Well, a lot of times, really and truly, a lot of times they get ran over. They don't know how to survive, so they become, prey to a lot of them. Sometimes they do survive and they join colonies with other cats, and they become very feral. Even though they were socialized as a kitten, they can always turn feral. And if the human has broken that trust, then odds are it's going to start becoming scared of humans over time. And the less and less contact that it has with human interaction, the more the chances are it's going to be feral in the long run. And then, these cats, especially in the summertime, they have all these fleas, these ear mites and worms, and then they're having to fight, all the time. Not to mention, the one that I was just talking about, we rescued one that was attacked by an eagle. So you have the prey above, and then you have the prey on the ground. So these cats have a lot of odds stacked up against them. And if they're not in a safe, secure place, they're just very vulnerable.
Yeah, they are. And I think it's just a heartless thing to do. Now, if you're thinking about, maybe sometimes people want their kids to have a cat or a dog, just to teach them more responsibility. But what if your kids just really don't like animals? Could you do
That's
that?
right. Yeah, I mean, you're exactly right. And that's another thing. I saw a video this morning, and it was this cat, the sweetest, most patient, tolerant cat I've ever seen in my life. This little baby was grabbing it, pinching it, slapping it, and the mom wasn't doing anything. And I'm like, you should be teaching your child. And the cat thankfully didn't respond. But if the cat had have had a natural reaction, yeah, then they would be rehoming the cat. But this was a good opportunity for that mom to go, honey, be gentle, be soft, don't pinch, don't pull. But, you see stuff like that, and it's just, you want to say something.
The mother.
Yeah.
But I will say this, there is something about a kid having a cat or a dog, and it teaches responsibility, especially if they're an only child. My son was an only child. So I always made sure he had a pet, because it taught him that the world's not just about him. I mean,
that's exactly right.
There's other responsibilities too.
Yeah, and they're great companions. I mean, if the child wants one, I think that it's a great opportunity for them, like you said, to learn responsibility, and also the bond that you have with those animals, even the bond that children have with those animals. It's a beautiful thing to see. I mean, I love I get updates just adopted one. His name was Trooper because he's been through so much. We called him Trooper.
Mm-hmm.
And the mom is just sending me pictures and pictures and pictures of her and her kids. And they're just laying around with the little kitten and stuff. They are having the time of their life with that little baby. And I made sure, you know, this is a forever home. That's one of the things we do want to make sure that these are good forever homes for these babies.
I'm glad you do that. Let's talk a little bit about, because, you know, you got a new kitten who's coming to the house and it's not potty trained. And some people get rid of them because they're not. So what's the best way have you found to potty train a cat?
Well, my favorite litter is walnut shell. It looks like dirt and it feels like dirt. And the odor control is amazing. You know how tidy cats like real icky and sticky and okay. This is so clean. I mean, it's just I love it. But when I take a feral in, they have no idea what a litter box is. I'll start out, I'll go rake some leaves, and I have this box, this big plastic little storage bin, and I'll put the leaves in there. And, you know, you can put potting soil or whatever, and then you can transition that to your walnut litter or to whatever litter you use. So yeah, I've actually, all of the cats and kittens I've rescued, I've never had an accident, knock on wood, because if they've come from the outside, I want them to meet the box first with what they're familiar with, which is going to be the stuff from outside. So yeah, I'll wreck all that up and put it in a box for them.
Well, Greenlee, apparently Jimmy trained Greenlee to go outside and go to the potty. So this is what he does. He likes I have a Christmas bell, and this just happened by accident. So I had this Christmas bell hanging on the door, and apparently looking up on this, it must have been what Jimmy had on his door. So Greenlee goes and he starts spattering with and ringing the bell. He does that, all these Christmas bells. And that's the cue to let him outside.
No.
He wants to go outside.
I love it.
And so it's so funny. We'll be in here like recording shows or whatever, and Greenlee, you'll just hear the bell going ding like that.
Ding.
And then
He's ready.
outside. But you can train them. I mean, they have feelings just like we do. You can train animals.
Yes, and the cats are so smart. They really and truly are. I mean, you're a perfect example. I mean, look at Greenlee. And I'm very fortunate too. We have an outside catio that we built, and I have this area that I have blocked around, and I have it filled with potting soil. And that's where they go, or that they'll, you know, go on to the woods or whatever. So me dealing with a litter box is really for like my fosters and stuff. My cats, they go outside, so I don't really have the litter box thing to deal with personally.
Yeah,
and I love it.
Bill kind of likes that idea too. Okay, we're going to have to go, Miranda. Thank you so much for being on the show. What would you like to say before? How can folks find out? How can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, so we are on Facebook, Kitties in the City Rescue. And if you are interested in adopting, just let me know, because we have some really, really good kitties, and they are in foster homes. And if you want to donate to us, just, you know, we have all of our information on Facebook. And thank you, Donna, for having me.
Well, thank you for being on the show. You're bringing a lot. We need this attention. We really do. Folks need to know animals have feelings too. They most certainly do.
Right. That's right.
You have a wonderful Christmas, Miranda.
Thank you, Donna. You too. Merry Christmas.
Can't wait to see you next time. You take care.
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you for watching Donna's Edge. You can find us on television, channel 182 on Charter Communications. Abundance Television is found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Thank you so much.